Well, good morning. Look, all of you came out here on this wintry, blustery day, and we are going to create wonderful things in the room here today together. We're going to do This Is the Day. Richard's going to lead you from there, and I'm going to lead you from here. We're going to take it nice and mellow to begin with, and then we're going to really let it rip. Are you ready?
This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord, please stand. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day.
This is the day
That the Lord has made.
that the Lord has made.
We shall rejoice
We shall rejoice
and be glad in it. Oh, this is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made.
For you. Well, good for you guys. That was beautiful. Good morning, everybody. Happy kind of New Year. Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. I was telling them earlier that in our early meeting that I was worried when we went to San Francisco about where Santa would park downtown, but then David reminded me it's on the house, so not to worry. Today, we enter into ceremonies, a ceremony that's very unusual in Unity. We don't often have times where we do rituals, but this is a ritual that is really an ancient pre-Christian symbol or ritual. During the middle of the winter, there's a time where we release and we let go. And it's like letting go of the past and all the elements of the past that we no longer want to carry with us. Ways of thinking, acting, anything that was not something we want to carry into the new year. So we prepare ourselves because next week we begin with a whole new year, a new beginning. Can you believe it? It's happened so fast, hasn't it? And so today we enter into a service of what we call the melting bowl. Originally, it was probably done around a big fireplace or a big fire circle, and with some beating drums, they released all the past and all that they wanted to let go of as they began the whole new period of the new year. So we do it with water because last time I did a service with a fire, we had a nice little fire going up in a little bowl, and everybody came up and burned them, the little pieces of paper. One of the very wise members of the church ran and got the fire extinguisher and stood next to it. So that took away from all the joy of it with this guy standing there with a fire extinguisher. So we quit doing that. So now we use melting paper, and I promise you, anything you write on that little piece of paper you were given, putting it in there, it will be gone. Whatever you say and whatever you affirm on this earth is affirmed in heaven. And whatever you say, I release and let go, it is released also for all time in heaven. Let's begin with an opening prayer. Thank you, God, for this time of coming together as a community to remember that we're spiritual beings as well as human, and that at times the human being seems to take all of our energies and time, like during the holidays. With all the joy and the celebration, there's also the sense of sometimes weariness from just doing and doing and doing. So today we release all that. We relax, we let go, and we center ourselves here in this moment as we begin to face what has been, what we wish to release and let go, no longer carry with us from the past. And we open ourselves to the freedom that we have been created for. Thank you, God. Amen. Oh, a very important time that I almost walked away from, and that was the time when in the past we would do it at the end of the service, but I thought it was that important that we should bring it up into the beginning so that everybody has a chance to participate. The holy greeting. So we invite you to take a moment, look around the room, and enjoy the beauty and the diversity, the warmth and the love that is here in the building, and reach out to everyone with your heart and your mind and greet them with a holy greeting. Will you stand and join me? Go forth, greet one another. I behold the Christ in you. I behold the Spirit of God in you. I behold the Spirit of God in you. I behold. I'm so glad you came.
Namaste.
You're going to have property now. To have you home. David's going to come over as soon as he can. Good to meet you. It's Micah. Micah. And tell me one more time. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, I brought you.
Well, good.
I brought it.
Come on, you're coming to church. That's how they got me in there, too.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they said, I wasn't going anywhere. All of a sudden, I got this call. This friend of mine said, I'm going over to this place, and I want you to go with me. She didn't tell where it was. I got there, and I said, that looks like a church. No, it's not the same. Hi, honey. Good to have you here. My kids. Welcome. Oh, it was my pleasure. And I love you too. I wish I could have done more.
Oh,
David stayed and helped, didn't he? He's younger.
yeah. Just a little younger than us.
Oh my goodness, it's our sign to come back to our seats. I know it seems like it was such a short time we got to do our hugging and honoring the Christ within, but here we go. Okay, back in the seats, folks.
Each Sunday at this time, we like to honor the Christ within. We do that by the lighting of the Christ candle. And what a better way to exemplify that light within by having a young person come up and assist me with the lighting of the Christ candle. So this morning we have Vivian. Come on up, Vivian. We'll walk around back here. Thank you, yes. All right. Pick up that candle. You light that from there. Good and lit. All of these candles light real easy for those who were here the last few weeks. All right. Go ahead and blow both of those out. All right. Now Now we'll step around to the front. Stand right there is good. Okay. So let's give a blessing to Vivian. Vivian, you are a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. You are loved unconditionally, just the way you are. It's obviously evident for her, but it's evident for all of us. So let's bless ourselves. I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am loved unconditionally, just the way I am. And we'll invite all of the children who want to participate to come on up to the front, and we'll bless all the children here today. And following the song, they will move off to their special class today. Come on. No, you just stay here. All right, here we are. Yep.
You're a beautiful child of... Oh, I'm a beautiful child. A wondrous spirit of love and peace. My light will shine forever. I'm a beautiful child. Now look at each other and tell each other, you're a beautiful child of God. A wondrous spirit of love and peace. Your light will shine forever. You're a beautiful child. Now send this out to the world. We are beautiful children of God. We are wondrous spirits of love and peace. Our light will shine forever. We are beautiful children of God. We are beautiful children of God.
Okay, you can run off to class. You can return to your seat. Thank you. Let's give them all a hand. Well, welcome to Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center. The service wouldn't happen without the assistance and generous time of several people here. Linda Hogan, our accompanist. Richard Potts, who in an emergency situation had to step up and help us lead the music today. Thank you, Richard. Always willing to step up whenever there's a request. And in the back, we have Gloria Ramirez on video. And relatively new, was here last week for his first time, Theo Farnham, who is our sound tech. And that's all very important as we live stream and on-demand stream this service on the World Wide Web through our website or through YouTube. So we welcome everyone who's watching this service streaming. And my name is Dan Perkins. Community highlights. We have one important highlight coming up on January 19th, a closer walk with God, facilitated by Reverend Micah. And that'll be Sunday, June 19th again from 11:45 to 2:30 p.m. in Unity Hall next door. So let's say together our statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still Be still in the silence, ever in the God I am. Be still, be still. Be ever in the silent now. Be still, be still in the silence, ever in the God I am. Be still, be still, be still, be still. Be still. Be still.
One. Jesus spoke these words and again told those that were following him, "It is not I, but the Father within that does the work." So today we remember, I don't have to do everything that's before me, all of myself. The Spirit of God, this Father, creative energy, power, source of all good, and I are one. I live and breathe and have my being in the center of this life, love, power, beauty. It is not I, but the Father, the Spirit of God that lives through me, expresses uniquely and beautifully as me. So I have the power. I have the ability, not of my human self alone, but through the Spirit of God that I am, uniquely expressing my soul, the higher self of me. I can release, I can bind, I can make secure, I can affirm, and I can let go. So today we stop and we let go of that which has no more place in my mind or heart, in my future. But this is the week that we begin a new year, a new life. Every day is a new beginning. Every year is the beginning of a new world for us. And I know that the power of the mind lies behind my new world. For thoughts held in mind manifest in kind. I hold thoughts of release of that which no longer serves me. The memories, the old fears, the old worries, the old doubts, the old insecurities. I release them all. For I know that I no longer want to carry them with me. Today I release my belief in limitation. I renew my sense of possibility. I release the habit of judging people. And I renew my commitment to see the divine in all beings. I release any doubt and indecision, and I renew my divine power of wisdom. I release negative thinking. In this time of silence and quiet, I renew my positive expectations. I take them off the shelf and I believe again in my dreams, my hopes. I release discontent and I Renew my sense of gratitude for all that I am, all things. I release apathy. I release the fear of lack. I renew my awareness of abundance in my life. I am so blessed. And I release any sense of worry. I release my faith in thoughts of competition, and I renew my willingness to cooperate. I renew my faith in other people. I release the need to complain. I release old feelings of bitterness. And I renew inner peace of forgiving. I forgive and I set myself free. I release feelings of being stuck. I'm willing to take the next step forward. I release any feelings of hostility. I renew my practice of non-resistance. I release the thoughts of illness. I renew my openness to the living, healing power of God that is within me. The power of the healing Spirit of God, life that flows through every cell, organ, and system of my being. And I release my anger. I renew my patience. I release any sense of discouragement. And I renew my hope. I release my darkest fears that only I know. I renew the strength and the courage of my heart. And I release feelings of loneliness. I release problems that seem to overwhelm me. I renew my understanding of my spiritual nature. And I release the shadows of sorrow. I renew myself in the serenity of silence. In the silence, I am one with the presence and power of God. Here within, I'm always one with God. In the silence, in the silence.
We're gonna stop this for a second because I just thought of something that I want to do with this song. You have hymnals in your pews there. This song that I'm going to be sharing with you this morning is written by a man named Bill Provost. He wrote about 15, 20 songs for our hymnal. He's an amazing composer. He captured spirit so perfectly in many of the things that he did that we would often look for those songs. We wanted to do something special. I kind of wanted to do something special today, and we're going to do hymn number 74. So if you want to look at it, you can read along with while I'm going to speak it, the poem of it first, and then I'll do the music, okay? So it goes like this. In the silence, there is a sacred place. a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you'll find that we know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there. Truth is there. God is there. In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you'll find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there. Truth is there. God is there. Thank you.
How beautiful, Linda. Thank you. Many of you know the Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. I think we did a retreat here once, a walking meditation. He's known for his books and his teachings on meditation. Very famous. But he had an ex-monk cousin who also went into the monastery with him in Tibet called Not Ticked Off. And as a novice, he went through all the training, and he was assigned a role like every monk. And to help him be humble, he was asked to clean the building. So he would clean and clean, and one day they told him, "You're out of here." And he said, "Why?" They said, "Because you can't vacuum without attachments." Zen Buddhists don't have attachments. That's what they work on. Not my fault. David comes up with those.
Blame it on someone.
Jesus taught us in Luke 23:34. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Forgiveness. That is the way that we set ourselves free. I used to think forgiveness was about the other person, and it is, in the sense that I release them from my judgments and my anger and rage or my disappointments. But it's more than that, because I'm attached. If I'm involved in thinking about them from the future, I'm dragging them in my future. Them from the past, I'm dragging them into my future. So we don't want to bring that which is the past in our heart, in our mind, the old memories, the old fears or worries, the doubts, the judgments. We have to free ourselves, because only we can do that work, because it's all in our mind. We carry it around with us, don't we? You ever find yourself going back over and over the same thing, a story that's there in your head about how you were treated or not treated properly or what they did, and eventually it just gets tiring, doesn't it? Well, we learned today that we have the ability to let it go. And it may take time and repetition, but we can let it go. Day after day, we can change our mind and then change our world. Only the Spirit I am, the Christ in me, we call the Christ, the Spirit of God that's in us. That divine can work through the world and bring a new beginning for us that we can't, as a human being, see ourselves doing. The divine order that seems to be impossible to us, somehow in the higher order, there is an order going on. There's a plan at work. We may not see it, but somehow it will become clear. Remember, if I cannot change the circumstances, I can change my mind, change my perception. When I was walking down the hall one day at a Unity Church, when I first found Unity, and this girl I was dating drug me into the church. You need to come with me. And I said, I don't really go to church anymore. And she said, well, you need to go with me. So she brought me to Unity, and I sat in the very last pew because I didn't want to get involved. And of course, what did they do? Will all the people who are new today stand, please? It was like, oh, please, she's poking me. And so I stood, and embarrassed, I sat down. But eventually, I had to listen. And as I did, I realized the tears were coming up in my eyes, and it was, what's this all about? Because it was no longer the message of judgment and condemnation. It was no longer always about the cross, the pain and suffering of the world. It was a message of joy, a message of reaffirming our ability as spiritual beings to change our life and change our world, changing our mind first. We begin to see a change in the way we perceive the world. I was walking down the hall in that church, and I was on the board after a while because I was there all the time. I think they needed board members. They just drugged me into it. And I remember the minister was walking in front of me, and I said, I guess he was trying to avoid me, to be honest. And I was rattling on about some problem, and he said, sometimes you can't change the circumstances, but you can change the way that you perceive them. And he refused to talk to me. He just walked on. And I thought, well, that's a dumb thing to say. I wanted him to do something that was magic and help me get over whatever it was I was dealing with. And he did, because here it is, almost 50 years later, I'm still talking about it. Sometimes we can't change what is happening or has happened, can we? It is what it is. But we can change the way we perceive it. Excuse me. That's something I'm leaving in the past also. This crucifixion, which is the weird thing to talk about the week after Christmas, is a symbol of crossing out or letting go of all that which is no longer for our highest good. The old thinking, the old ways of acting. It's the upward spiraling part of the cross is us, and it's moving through all that is limited and no longer for our highest good. So I think about the crucifixion and Jesus' words on the cross as an enlightened belief system, a blueprint, if you will, for transformation. It's a way of changing our whole world. Remember what he said? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So he changed the whole course of what could have occurred for him and for those who followed him by forgiving and letting go. At Christmas, we celebrated the new life in us, the renewed Spirit of God, not only the birth of Jesus, which we honor and we celebrate, but also in us, the Spirit of God, that is that same Spirit that was in Jesus, now incarnate in us, and desiring to be expressed fully. And so we honor that at Christmas, and it's the rebirth of the spiritual self. So I hope you all feel reborn and renewed, because the Spirit of God in you is an ongoing process of renewing and growing and expressing more fully. In the Unity New Testament interpretation book, it says the crucifixion itself symbolizes a process of crossing out or eliminating that which is no longer needful for our continued unfoldment. What has fulfilled its purpose in us must be either lifted up to a higher place, level in consciousness, where we can see it differently, or let go completely. Jesus' crucifixion illustrates both these messages. So there's a metaphysical, a spiritual cross crucifixion, a crossing out. When we let go of the old, crossing out or releasing can feel sometimes really frightening, because if I let go of something, many times I have nothing. I remember when I was in the monastery, at 17, I went into a Catholic monastery, and I became a Franciscan friar. My name was Friar Dion. I liked that name. He was popular then, so I thought I'd pick a good popular name. And later I found out Dionysius was the god of wine, and I loved that. So, yeah. So those of you who know me know that was really appropriate. So Friar Dion was there for several years, working in several different monasteries, and finally they moved me to within walking distance of my parents' home in Ohio, and I thought, well, that's really weird, because it was just around the corner, basically, from where my parents lived. But I couldn't go there, because this was the year that I was going to be in silence and complete isolation from the world, prior to making professional, permanent vows. Up to that point, they were temporary vows. So I was a kind of temporary monk. And so I had my little brown outfit and my little sandals, and I did everything that the monks did. I became one of them. But they give you a year to kind of figure out in silence if this is what you really want to commit to. And up to that point, I had honored everything that they asked me to do and everything that I was supposed to do. Begin to live a life of prayer and contemplation and service. But at that point, that year, it just crossed my mind that this was no longer what I wanted to do. In fact, I questioned whether or not I still had that same belief system that this particular belief system or organization had. And I began to question it and question and question. And all the older monks that were the wise ones would say was, pray about it and you'll be guided. Well, about 2 months before I had to make the final vows, which I would have honored, I would still be there, because if I make a promise, I try to honor it to the best of my ability. I remember thinking very clearly, this is no longer what I want to do, because it's no longer what I'm supposed to do. And I need to put this aside. So I took the brown robe off, hung it on the back of my little cell, that's what they called your little room, and put on my work clothes, because that's all I had. And I walked out the side door, didn't go out the front, because I knew one of the monks would grab me and hold me back. So I snuck out the side door and I went home. And my whole life changed. Because I realized in order to make a change, I had to let go. I had to let go of something in order to have something new. But sometimes we want to have that new, but we don't want to let go. We still like to hold on to some elements of it, you know. I'll just take it with me, the brown robe maybe, that would be good. I could be monk in the morning and then go off and do my life in the afternoon. But it doesn't work like that. You have to let it go in order to open into a new world. It's like saying, I'm willing to change, but don't change me completely, only partly. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Not everybody's going to be in such a dramatic way making a change, walking out of a monastery. Sounds like the sound of music, doesn't it? There wasn't much music that day, I'll tell you. I was very concerned and fearful. And of course, my parents were shocked to have all of a sudden this kid that went off and was living in a monastery show up at their door. They were aware I was in the monastery, but they couldn't go there. When it's time for the evolution of our soul, for the changing and the growing of our soul, then whatever we're in will not contain us any longer. One day we just decide, I'm doing this. And everything that is necessary to let go of, we begin to release and let go. So that's what today is all about, being able to let go and release that which is no longer going to serve us in the new year. I want to be free, don't you? There is no age in spirit. Age is an illusion. It's based upon our chronological years. We think that's the age of our soul. And our soul is eternal, ever renewing, always possible to renew, regenerate, restore. So today, we take that truth and we apply it literally. So that which doesn't match me in my next expansion or growth as a soul, it's time for it to change. Or at least change in such a way that it can, and if it can't come with me, then it needs to be let go. This is where trust comes in. I have to trust that there's a God, that this power, this infinite intelligence is going to conspire with the whole universe to support me in the process of the change. As I move forward into a new place, a new space, I have to trust that there's something and someone, this power that's going to move through us and through the universe and bring the right people, the right circumstances, the right conditions, so that I can continue to grow and be free. The person I need to depend upon is me, you, each of you. You were created in the mind of God as a divine idea, perfect, holy, as we say in every service. I wrote that line years ago, and I'm so glad to hear you still say it. I am perfect and whole in spirit. God knows I'm not, just ask David about that. I'm not perfect all the time, for sure, in my actions, but I know in my soul, my spirit is whole. My spirit is good, absolutely good. So even when somebody's being irritable or, a real pain around me, I find myself now going back to the truth. They have the divine within them. They are children of God. And my way of saying that, the easy way that people can understand, is they have a good heart. They have a good heart. They may not be acting like it, but they have a good heart. Sometimes it's difficult, and sometimes the changes that come about are shattering. They just change everything, and they're not expected, like the death of a loved one. We have to follow our dreams, don't we? And so do others. So we're releasing and we're surrendering, so that within us is allowed to be the greatest power of all, our divine self, an eternal, all-powerful self that can never be destroyed, never be extinguished or diminished. That power, that presence that's there within us will never abandon us, never judge us, never reject us. There is nothing, and that was a hard one for me, nothing out there that is bigger than that which is in here. You are the Spirit of God in expression. Each of us are unique expressions of that same Spirit, that same field of perfect love and energy. So to fully and open ourselves to live our dreams, we have to let go, surrender the past, and only keep that which serves us in our new life, our new way of being. We release all that we choose to release. Everybody was given a piece of paper, I hope. And that piece of paper isn't very big, but it's big enough to make a note, just even a couple letters that can indicate to you what it is you want to let go and release, surrender. It could be something that is very obvious to you, your way of thinking, your way of acting, the conditions in your life or the persons in your life that are no longer serving you nor them in their highest way. So the paper with the noted items will be placed into the water, which represents a higher consciousness, and released, let go. And we remember what Jesus taught us in Matthew 18:18. He said, truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you release on earth will be released. So when you let it go, trust, believe that I am letting this go. And it may come back up and you simply say, no, I let that go. I let that go. I've released that. And it will dissipate into the far reaches of your mind and be illumined by the Spirit of the living God that's within you. I release and I set myself free. Does that make sense? I hope so. So today, I invite you then to come forward as you choose and as you take some time now to take a few moments to be able to write down anything that comes to your mind or your heart that you want to let go of. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you release on earth will be released for all time in heaven. Our ushers are going to help you to come up the aisle in the center if you choose to use the water to simply let go. And our chaplain's here to support you in doing that. So please do feel free to come on up now. Coming up the center and going back the side aisles. we release and we let go, and we set ourselves free. So be it.
So, yes, we received and we gave, and now and we receive and we give, and that's our cycle here at Unity. Many ways to give. Many of us volunteer here in the service, volunteer in the community. We can also, it's also necessary that we have to give monetarily to keep the lights on and everything going here. And we make that as easy as we can. You can text to give to the number on the screen. You can go to the website and click the donate button, or you can do it the old-fashioned way, and our ushers will be coming around with the baskets. We ask that if you've given, and please put your hand over the basket and bless the giving here at the service this morning. So let's bless our tithes and offerings. God's love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. I am grateful.
I think you all know this song. It's by Karen Drucker. It's just a wonderful song. I am so blessed.
I am so blessed.
I am so blessed.
I am so grateful
for all that I have.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Let's sing it.
I am so blessed.
I am so blessed.
I am so grateful for all that I have.
I
am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Wonderful. You are so blessed. We are so blessed. Thank you.
So this is relatively new, the second half of this year. Let's say our congregational affirmation. We envision a senior minister who guides our spiritual growth in keeping with the mission statement of Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center. And I think we can all join in a circle today, and we will close out our service. We'll get close to closing out our service with the peace song. So everybody, let's form a circle.
here. Set yourself free. Amen.